So in one of the readings called Living Like Weasels, he's talking a lot about how we can learn from a weasel when he goes to a pond and sees him, and said something. He said, but I might learn something of mindlessness, something of the purity of living in the physical senses and dignity of living without bias or motive, which is very interesting because, weasels and wild animals live in a necessity and not by really choice. And he also said at the end, I think it would be well and proper and obedient and pure to grasp your one necessity and not let it go, to dangle from it limp wherever it takes you. Then even death, where you're going, no matter how you live, cannot you part. So I just think it's really interesting and can apply in different ways. I take it in the sense of like, we're put on this earth to live for God and to love God. And through that, God will set our plans and our futures if we give that over to Him. We can plan and have as many goals as we want, but God can change it in the moment. So I think that sometimes we need to learn to live in necessity of, and I think our necessity is to live day by day and not worry about the future, and not and to have goals, but not to always bank on them, because God can change it, and you could live a whole different life than you were even planning. So I think sometimes we just need to live in the moment, listen to the Holy Spirit, let Him guide us, and live in reaction to what God has done for us on the cross and because He made us. The next reading I was going to talk about was one that was by Elizabeth Gaskell, The Life of Charlotte Bronte, and saying that we shouldn't keep our talents hidden in a napkin. And one way that I took this is that, as we grow up, as I get older, I'm going to become a mom. I'm going to have a family, and hopefully, and I will have the duties of a wife and of a mom, and all the talents I have could easily fall away. And I just hope that I don't keep them hidden, because I think God gave them to me for a reason, and I should, feel privileged that I can now, as a woman, do the things that maybe women couldn't do a while ago. And I don't think we should forget the talents that God gives us. Maybe some things become more important in different seasons, but I think that we should embrace the ability that we have to live freely as women, to embrace our talents, and to be an author if we want, to be a doctor if we want, to have those roles. And then the last two, the undeclared major and I hear them calling passages that we read, were just cool to read about as we're in our major, and how sometimes people can be negative to our majors. I'm going to be a teacher, and a lot of people have told me, don't be a teacher. Why are you doing that? And it's a lot of naysayers, and I feel like a lot of negativity, and I feel like I have to push it away because it does affect me. Sometimes I feel like, oh, why am I doing this? I don't get a good salary. I have to invest in these children that may not even listen to me. But like, even though they say that, I need to listen to the positivity and what God has called me to do and where I'm at right now. And God can lead us anywhere, but sometimes people are going to be negative on our views, on our choices, but we have to learn to be ourselves and let God reveal that to us, and to just become ourselves without falling to what everybody has. Everybody's gonna have opinions. And then I hear them calling is interesting, because it's like, in it, it's kind of, I don't know, he has so many callings he feels, and sometimes I feel that way. Like, I felt God call me in so many different directions. But in the end, no matter what people say to me, what people think I should do, what I feel I should do, I just need to listen to God's voice, and He'll lead me. Just kind of leading back to the other passage that says living like a weasel or something like that. That live in necessity, live to God's voice. That's it. And don't worry about the rest.